Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. And I'm here with somebody who hasn't been here for about a year or so. My dad, Dave,
How are
who
you?
you've met before if you saw some of my past videos. And he's back again to talk a little more music with me and some memories. And the first thing we're going to talk about is it was late last year. Well, first let me set up the background that you're a big jazz aficionado now. You love soft jazz and
Soft
jazz
jazz,
music
yeah.
at this point in your life. And one of your biggest favorite things to do is to listen to Sirius XM channel 66, which is the Watercolors channel. It's like a light, soft jazz channel.
Right, yeah.
Did you just happen to discover that when you were on Sirius, or did you know something like that existed out there, all jazz channel?
Well, I always look for jazz or soft jazz channels on radio,
Right.
especially in my later years. And I found that 66, through talking to you, I found that was
Right.
a great channel for that. And on television, 544, they have soft jazz too.
Oh, on the cable.
Yeah, on cable
They
television.
play straight jazz.
So
And you mentioned discovering it on radio. Wasn't there at one time in the greater Boston, Providence area where we're from, an FM jazz channel you used to listen
Right.
to before Sirius and all?
it was out of Boston, and for some reason, maybe because of listenership, they changed it to a more rock and roll type music.
Right.
And they completely wiped out the opportunity to listen to that channel as it related to jazz.
So that
soft
all jazz format was just shelved. They
Yeah,
just
it
got
was
rid of
shelved, and it was
Yeah.
until I found it on television sometime later. There wasn't any available, or at least I couldn't find a channel or a radio station
Right.
that had it. So.
Right. So with the advent of Sirius and then
Yeah.
cable TV,
And then with your help,
and you get commercial free too. There's no commercials
Right.
like on FM radio, so
Yeah.
that's a plus.
and because of your great interest in all types of music, I was able to find out about 66, and you've always helped in my ability to listen, because I have the Alexa now, and that helps
All right,
me too.
right.
Yeah,
That's right. He listens through his Alexa system. Yeah.
right. And also my cell phone that has been modernized, to say the least. It's so complicated, I don't know what to do with it half the time.
Yeah.
But I can carry that around with me. I've been to the gym with it, and I walk occasionally along the sidewalks near our home, and I can keep the channel 66 on while, as long as I have that cell phone with me. So that really gives me a lot of pleasure.
You've got that Sirius XM app right on the phone, so
Right.
you can hit a button and there's that
Yeah.
channel. And switching now to a topic I want to go to is, how far back did you discover people like, these are those of you that know jazz and love jazz, artists like Dave Koz or Gerald Albright or Rick Braun, those people? Did you just discover them, or did it just go back even before satellite you found them?
It goes back to the radio days. I didn't know too much about them. Sometimes I never knew the name of the artist who was playing, but I was always impressed by their playing, especially saxophone. Dave Koz and then Rick Braun on the trumpet. He's one of the best. Yeah.
And
Gerald Albright.
Albright, what's his main instrument on Gerald Albright?
Sax.
He's a sax
great
guy.
sax player. Yeah.
So you knew of them before satellite days. This goes back to like when listening to FM radio.
Yeah, many years. Many years.
I was kind of surprised last year in 2019, late summer, I believe it was, or early autumn. You happened to read in the Providence newspaper. You saw that there was a summer horns tour coming to our area in Rhode Island, and it's just strange to me that you picked up, like you just happened to bump into that and saw that advertisement.
Yeah, on Saturday and or Sunday, the Providence Journal will have notifications related to music, all types of music.
Right.
And I just happened to pick, I think it was a Saturday, and I looked at the paper, and when I saw the names of the artists, Dave Koz and Gerald Albright and Rick Braun, I knew. By then I had determined who they were, how well known, how famous they were as musicians.
Right. And the other fourth one was Aubrey Logan. Had you heard of her before?
No, I didn't know much about her. I knew she existed, but I hadn't heard too much of her music.
Right.
These, I was overwhelmed when I saw that ad. I said, I can't believe it.
Yeah, it was funny because you saw that and then you came to me and you said, hey, are you interested in going to a jazz show in Rhode Island at a venue? And
Right.
I was like, sure, I love all kinds of music. And certainly if someone is talented on their instrument or whatever, I like to see that and see how they express that through their instrument.
Right.
So we grabbed my brother and the three of us went to see this show. And I was surprised recently. I found this CD in the store. It's of that same group, except for there's one additional jazz musician here, Richard Elliott.
Richard Elliott, but I knew of Richard Elliott too. He was an outstanding sax player. He's always been one of the tops in that field.
So this CD I happened to find used in a store, and I was shocked when I saw it. It's called Dave Koz and Friends Summer Horns from A to Z, with Gerald Albright, Rick Braun, Richard Elliott, and Aubrey Logan, who joins Dave Koz for the performance. Here's the back of it, and inside of it, it folds out. There's Dave Koz. So yeah, I was really happy to get this. I'm hoping someday we can listen to it. I got this fairly recently, and I was just surprised to see all those artists who you enjoyed and admired all in one disc like that, and with that same title, Summer Horns.
Right.
And that was the tour last year we went to, Summer Horns. So I have to ask you, when we went to that show and saw them, was it what you expected?
Oh yeah, no question about it. I got a chance to see them in person, which makes it much better. I usually when you see it on television, they'll get a headshot and that's about it. They might talk a little bit or print a little bit on the screen about their background, where they were born or where they, how old they may be. It doesn't give you too much to go on. So when I saw them all in person, it was really a thrill for me, no question about it. And Dave Koz, by the way, he has a show every Sunday. I think it's from 12 to 2 on Channel 66, Watercolors, which is soft jazz. And they broadcast for 2 hours, and he brings in not only the sax players and his close associates from music, but people in the business that are well known, that people enjoy, no question about it.
Yeah, I must say I was very impressed with the show when we saw it. I might have heard these people on the periphery when you'd be listening to the station and I'm with you, but to see them live, I was blown away by their talent on sax, trumpet, trombone. It just was unbelievable. And the songs they played, they really didn't play like dull, dry, what people would think is dull jazz music. They really were snappy and playing upbeat stuff and getting the crowd into it. I was really impressed with them as a group. So
one of the people who drew me to soft jazz was David Sanborn, the great sax player.
You had CDs by him, I remember.
And David Sanborn, from what I understand, he had some type of a breathing or lung problem as a youth, and I don't know if that was a direct result, but he took up playing the saxophone, and now he's one of the greatest sax players in the business.
Yeah, and you were thinking back on that. I remember back in those days when CDs first came out in the 80s and into the 90s, you were listening to a lot of like George Benson and who's that other guitarist? Earl Klugh and George Benson.
Yeah,
I remember you having CDs by them. And,
George Benson. Even now, I hear some of his recordings that he's made in recent years. more than ever, I think he's a really great guitar player.
Yeah.
No question
A
about
lot of those jazz guitarists are at the top of their
Yeah,
game. They're
yeah.
really technically talented as guitar
Yeah.
players. But yeah, so I just want to say that I really enjoyed that show with you. I mean, it was a miracle that you happened to see it. We happened to able to
Yeah.
get tickets and we went, and I had a great time. I just was so happy to see that show, and I could tell you really liked it as well and enjoyed seeing these people
Right.
live who you had seen on the heard on the radio.
No question.
So yeah, so we'll have to maybe when all this is said and done, we get past all this baloney that's going on now, we can and people start getting out again. Maybe you can keep your eye out again for if they come around again this year.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
They-
'cause
I know they tour throughout the country, but
I would love to see that.
right now I imagine they're
Yeah.
all bunkered down at home because
Yeah.
of the
Corona-
virus.
with the virus,
Yeah.
and once we get over that, we hopefully we can get back to some more music and live
Right.
music. So,
Yeah.
all right, well that's it. I just want to say we're going to cut this one short right now. We're going to do another one or two, but I just want to say thanks for your memories about the show.
That's great.
I know I could tell you really loved it and enjoyed it. You know,
I can
so.
sit for hours and just and I have a rocking chair, which you can tell by looking at my age. I could sit there for hours and listen, not only to these artists, but anyone who plays music. But of course, I really enjoy the soft jazz.
Yeah. All right, thanks. I'm going to close this one off now. We'll be back for another one. Thanks.